Man, oh man, it is Wednesday. It's time for Hammer Away again. You can see it right there. We're going to talk about nostalgia. When is it too much? Where does it start? And where the hell does it end? Look at that. We're at episode 75. We're three-quarters of the way. Oh my God, what happened? Oh, not even in the screen. Okay, hold on. Let's figure this out. We've been destroyed. I'm telling you, if I showed you this place right now, I would be embarrassed. Do you want to take a look? Do you want to see what it's like? I don't know if you're ready for this. It is what is affectionately called a mess. But I'm working on it. It's the end. It's the war to end all wars. It's still happening. Um, I'm still happening, and it is a little messy. You know what? Look at this. Do you see what this sweatshirt is that I have? Do you see that? And we're talking X-Men. This is what I'm talking about. This is the stuff. Dave Cockrum did the artwork on this side, and it's Byrne on the other. John Byrne did the other side. So this is what I'm talking about. It's about nostalgia. It's about the things that we really love, the things that mean something to us for whatever reason, and the thing that, I don't know, keeps us young. Is that what we're talking about? The things that keep us young, that we can't seem to let go, or you know uh, merchandise wise things come back. I don't know. It all started, for me. The nostalgia just starts because of something that you collected when you were a kid, and maybe your parents bought it for you or your grandparents bought it for you, and there's a reason that you held on to it, or maybe you didn't get to hold on to it. And maybe it was a situation where you had it and then you bought it, and then uh, you, something happened to it. Maybe it got old, or we'll talk about that here in a minute about how they come back. So let's get started by talking about this. So here is, I just want you guys to know I'm not lying here, not like you were sitting out there going, you're lying. But when I'm talking about fancy, here it is. This is the, not in the original sleeve. I have it. I put it in this Columbia sleeve. Doesn't belong in there because it's an Atlantic product. But there it is on Big Tree Records, Wild Thing by Fancy. So this is the single that I grew up with. And there you go, Fancy on the other side. And then here, let me tell you a little bit about Fancy. I went ahead and ordered their complete recordings CD. It's like they call it, the clamshell, which is a lot like White Snake's little box of snakes. I bought that and was very happy with it, very impressed by everything that was in there, and really glad I invested in that. Now, this one is a little, am I going to listen to White Snake or Fancy more? I'm going to listen to White Snake. But this is going to be a 3 CD set. I'm still a little confused, though. The whole history of this band still confused me just a little bit. But when I realized that this was two different singers on both sides, here's a little bit of here's just a quick synopsis of what happened. Okay, so the original singer of Fancy, and former Penthouse Pet of the Month, was Helen. Helen Kont is her last name, and so while her breathy style of vocal delivery was appreciated on the act's first release, Wild Thing, it was deemed unsuitable for any subsequent recording or touring. All right. She was replaced by Annie Kavanaugh, and consequently only appears on one of the tracks on their first album, Fancy Wild Thing, which I now own on vinyl, and I guess I'll own it on CD now too. So, so that's that. Now they had a CD single. I'm sorry, a CD release And I do want to tell you whether that's available still, because I might buy it as well if it's available. I'm going to put in fancy, and I'm going to put in wild thing turns you on. Okay. So there it is. I found it on there. Somebody is selling it for $44. 10 to 1, that's with shipping. So it's going to be, oh no, that's free shipping. So it's 40 some dollars. It looks like it almost looks like it's the same person, because there is multiple copies for $44, and they're all very good, it says, and it's free delivery. So there you go. They've already put the delivery on it. But yeah, it's available out there, but $44. You can listen to it out there and see what you think. And I like it. Um, so Fancy were something of a 70s phenomenon. The band were a bunch of session musicians who, seizing the main chance, had a surprise US hit in 1974 with a version of the classic Wild Thing, originally fronted by uh, Penthouse pet Helen Kant, who, according to producer Mike Hurst, breathed rather than sang the words. The band featured seasoned sessioners Ray Fenwick and Mo Foster. The follow up single with new vocalist Andy Kavanaugh, the drummer Les Binks, Touch Me, also went top 20 in the States. Ray Fenwick continued as an in demand session player alongside a parallel career in the Ian Gillan band, which is awesome stuff, and his project Force Field. Need to check that out. Mo Foster, who has written a history of British guitar, returned to sessions with artists such as Jeff Beck and Cliff Richard. Wow. All right. So that's enough of them. But I thought we would follow up. What was really weird is Emma Jade, how are you? Hey, Emma, do you have any suggestions for everybody out there that's watching and listening? Oftentimes you do. You have just the right bit of what's the word? Wow, I can't advice for everybody out there who's checking out this show. So I did have a few little pictures here too. Here's the shot of the band with Annie Kavanaugh. That's Les Binks there in the plaid shirt in the front there. So there you go. And you saw my single that I had. There you go. There's that shot. Now, when they did this Wild Thing and they had it rolling and they did a promotional shot, they just put her with these gentlemen, these models is what they are. And then here's the video. Now, I don't know who all else was in the band there, but it just was an interesting video. She's laying down up at the top there. So, and here's a shot of her, which I guess they have made into a, I don't know, I think that's a block of ice that she's on there. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But she was a Miss UK runner up. How about that? So, all right. But that's what we got going on. So, so nostalgia, it comes at us at different directions. It comes at us sometimes when we don't expect it. Um, and and then there's things, like I say, there's things that sometimes I suggest, Emma Jade says, everyone strike that button and subscribe to Hammer Away. Thank you so much, Emma Jade. That is always super advice. I really appreciate that. So yeah, go ahead and give us a like and a subscribe, and that'll help us with what we've got coming up and the folks that we can talk to. Um, we have some things that are on board and coming on, and I hope you really enjoy it. I'm going to be talking with some folks who work as in DJ positions and work for radio stations. That's one section of folks that I'm going to talk to, and we'll have a subject about music, and we'll kind of talk about that. Katie Cruz is getting ready to come back on the show. So that's going to be awesome, and I think she'll be right here, which when I'm talking about the mess, I got to clean that up, because as a gentleman Viking, I can't have a mess for the lady who will be here on the show. So, all right. But it comes at us from different directions nonetheless. Nostalgia, again, is something a lot of times that we held on to. We've held on to it. If we've still got it, that's a great thing. So, like, I'm going to show you a few things right now that I've held on to. Um, of course, my first album of all time is Kiss Alive. So for me, that's a huge piece of nostalgia um, that I have held on to. Another piece of nostalgia that I found, I forgot that I had a copy of this, an extra copy. This is not in great shape, but it is intact and it has a great label on it, and I'm going to make it into a clock. And that is Van Halen 2, a piece of vinyl of Van Halen 2. So I'm going to make that into a clock. I'm going to see if I can get it cut and have the Van Halen logo made into it. I'm going to see about that. That's not first on my list. I got a million other things I'd rather do first. Um, but here's one of the biggest pieces of nostalgia that I have that I remember having when I was a kid. Now, a couple of other things come into mind which came out about this same time frame or just before this, but this is Rock Reflections of a Superhero. Now, this one I've shown you before, and it has another bit of history with it too. And there's the cover. Now, this has been remastered and it was released on CD, and I bought multiple copies of it to give as a gift, and then I kept a copy for myself, and it had extra tracks on it. Now, if you notice this logo here, this is on Life Song Records right there. Now, I didn't know of anybody else that was on Life Song Records, just this record. And then come to find out that folks that worked on this, um, let me see here. I'll get the name. Hold on. It's Jay Palumbo. Let's see. What is that? Oh, sugar. I got to remember the first name. Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. John Palumbo, somebody I'm hoping to talk to. Um, and then let's see, what was the other gentleman's name? No, I'm not getting it right now, but I should, I'm not, but I'm not worried about it. I'll get it figured out. Guitar player, maybe? Yeah, Jim Griffiths, I do believe is who it is. But anyway, I found out that that was a band called, these guys that were involved in this album were working with a band called Crack the Sky. So many years later, decades later, after I was into it, that was the case. Now here's another one. This one is nostalgic because it reminds me of the great music that I've mentioned before that my friend Bob turned me on to, and that's Sparks. This is a nostalgic album. Now, sometimes nostalgia, it's called indiscreet, and if you want it to listen to a great eclectic record, this is fantastic. It covers everything. I've said it before, rock and roll to Baroque. Um, then check out Sparks Indiscreet. Now, so it does take me back to my friend Bob. And here's also where something becomes nostalgic to somebody else in your life. So something that you get into is a piece of nostalgia. My son was like, "What do you suggest this year for Christmas music, Dad?" I remember he's like, "What is your greatest hits?" And so I sent him what I loved listening to, which was Home for Christmas, right? But then he said, "Well, there's one with this guy. He sang really high. What was that?" And this is what I showed you I received recently, and that's Three Ships by John Anderson. So for me, I wouldn't call this nostalgic. It's an important part of my Christmas playlist, but it's not nostalgic necessarily to me, but it certainly is for my son. So nostalgia is going to hit me like that, where I'm like, well, that's cool. I'm glad you picked up on that and that it means something to you, because it means a lot to me, but it didn't come to me until the early 2000s. So it's not like I hadn't been listening to it before that, really. I'd heard it, one of the songs on the radio, Three Ships, and that was it. And then I heard the whole record, and I'm like, this is great. One other piece of vinyl nostalgia that I just showed you that I purchased recently is this. It's the soundtrack to The Wanderers. Now, this is what I'm getting at. This is kind of There you go. The Wanderers. What a great movie. If you haven't seen it, Robert Wall is in this, and some other great actors that you've seen. Um, and there you go. Right there on the back. Wow, I really can't get that glare out of there, can I? So you've seen more of these guys in other places too. Um, but I don't know how often I'll listen to this. It's not my style of music necessarily, but you know, it's the movie though. It's the soundtrack to the movie. So it was kind of interesting to see that because kind of that was back in 1979 time frame. So it was, not something that I list, that they didn't do a lot of soundtracks like that at that point. Um, so Well, hello, Lance Jennings. Thank you again. Support Hammer Away channel by tapping that like button and subscribe. And see, everybody's helping out here. I love it. Happy Days premiered on this date in 1974. Wow. I was 9 years old. How about that? How about that? And sharing the love. I love it. Sharing the love. What do you got here? January 15th, 1983. The single Down Under by Men at Work reached #1 on the Billboard chart. That's cool. And then wasn't it that was the one that then not too long ago they were getting sued, right? Um, about that the do 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 do. Anyway, um, nostalgia keeps this around. That's why I've got Eddie still around, right? Um, I'm trying to see if there's anything else in the background, but this all ties in to the big, massive, the epic unboxing we have today. All right, and the reason that I that I have that, right? So it's also the reason that we as adults um, have the opportunity for these kind of things. There you go, an Iron Maiden puzzle. I mean, come on. When I was into Iron Maiden, who would have ever thought that they were going to make a puzzle of this stuff? I mean, I didn't. And now that I'm an adult, as close as I could get to an adult, um, now they have that. And so nostalgia turns me into an order hog. And I'm like, cool. And cool. Iron Maiden album covers and a puzzle? Hell yeah. Why not? Let's just get that. Okay. Look at this, too. Look at that. By the way, that's made in Japan. That was my, well, I guess I could say it was on my first Iron Maiden purchase because I'd gotten this at the store and now I wanted to check out Iron Maiden. So what did I do? I bought this on cassette, and the other album isn't on here that I bought because I bought, let's see, it's on the side. It's got to be on the side. It's not on the side. What are they thinking? But you see, look, it's in order here. So they had the first album, Killers, then they had Made in Japan, they had there, and then Number of the Beast came out. So I got this, and then I went to the store to get this, and then I found this on cassette. How about that? And that's when I was like, hey, that doesn't sound like the same singer. All right, so from rock and roll nostalgia to my comic book nostalgia, when I saw this, I was like, that's really cool. So you could get Avengers. This is the thing I'm talking about right now. So when it's a situation where I was into comic books, now they they put out things like this and t-shirts. Oh my god, I'm a freak on t-shirts. So also what brings about my wanting to talk about nostalgia today too is what I did over the weekend. I did a crap ton of laundry and worked on the house. Yesterday, I took the day off and I worked on the basement. So, and if I showed you what it looks like here, I don't know. You guys tell me if I should tell you. But here's my thing. Thanks, Lance. Thanks, Emma. Um, and oh, look at this. No, Nobody knew what Vegemite was. They did not. Thanks for mentioning that, because yeah, you're like, Vegemite. What's a Vegemite sandwich? And then all we heard about is it's something you probably wouldn't like. It's black. It's, you're just like, what? Gross. Um, Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a pretty cool puzzle. I love it. I still have yet to put it together. Um, but it's there and ready for me for retirement. So that's probably something that I'm going to do with you guys too, is I'll probably do some videos where we'll put together a puzzle for a bit and just chat about music. That's what I'm really dying for. So I'm really dying to have these times at different times of the day when I can get together with you guys and just we can do something and chat about music. I'm really dying for that. So especially right now, since I've got, Lance, Emma, Jade, if you guys have a favorite nostalgia thing that you love, what's something that you got and that you're looking forward to, either you're like, if I ever found that, you know, let's take a look at some stuff. Um, I've mentioned one before, but um, let's go into this. So I'm going to dig down in this pile that I picked out, um, for the various different reasons. And I'm going to get to where I wanted to start. Oh man, I just figured out something the other day that just kind of flipped me out. All right, so I'm on the season 2, and I'm watching them in a kind of an interesting way. So maybe this is how I finally get through Buck Rogers. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. So it started years ago when I'm trying to remember which one came out first. I think it was Johnny Quest. I'm trying to remember. And I found out that it came out on DVD and I flipped out. And my son's like, wow, you're really excited about that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm excited about that. I said, I'll tell you what, you wait till it went vice versa. It was either one or the other. All right. I said, you just wait till Starsky and Hutch comes out. You'll really see me flip. Well, it came out. And here we go. One. I just finished one. And then we got 2. And not even opened yet. Now, folks, I've had these for too long for them to still be in their wrappers. 3 and 4 contain. Look at that, 22 episodes. And what's this one? How many episodes in this one? I wonder. 23. 23 in season 3. 22 in season 4. But what I do is I watch them at time and a half. So I speed it up and watch them. Takes less time to get through them. And I'm telling you what, it's my new thing for getting through some things. So that's the way that I have to get through Buck Rogers. Buck Rogers has been a tough one for me. I started watching it going, okay, here we go. I'm finally going to do this. And I'm having a tough time. There it is. Buck Rogers. Oh boy. In the 25th century. Oh. And I mean, Aaron Gray is enough, you know. Oh, here we go. Good. What's up, Lance? Last year I picked up a vintage 80s Marvel puzzle that I had back then on eBay. You'll send photos, please. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm seeing that they're coming through. That's great. Thank you. Let me see if I can grab that real quick. Ooh, la, 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 la. So Buck Rogers, that happened. Then there was a CD shop, CD warehouse, which was close by. All right. And then, and they had this box set, and it went down in price. And I picked it up. There we go. The Incredible Hulk, the television series Ultimate Collection. So it's not all the shows, but it is a big It's a big grouping of them. And what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, 17 shows. Um, and then I found these. This is the original series premiere, which I wonder if that's on here. I'm not sure. So anyway, I found this DVD, which was that how it all began, and there's also on here it features the bonus episode, The Incredible Hulk Married. Um, this came out, I think, when that first Hulk movie came out. Then I found this, The Incredible Hulk Returns, and I'm holding on to this to show you the cover because, well, here, I'll do it this way. There you go. The Incredible Hulk Returns. And if I remember, this has the trial of the Hulk on it, I think, too. But look what else is on here. I had this book. I got it for Christmas when I was a kid. Nostalgia, and I still have it. But they re-released it in a paperback form, and it was at Five Below a few years ago. I bought a couple of copies of it. It's called How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. It was a John Buscema book, and it talked about how to draw comics. So it was pretty cool. I didn't even know they had a video of this. So nostalgia twice, right? It's crazy. Um, so those are things that I grew up with. Now, when I see something like this, I don't know if I want a whole series. Starsky and Hutch, yes. I wanted all of Starsky and Hutch. The thing that when I find this, which I found at Squeezebox up in Evanston, Illinois, it's season 1 and it has the pilot TV movie. All right. So I just thought I'd get it. It's enough, and it's when it was good and nice and early. So I bought the $6 Million Man. So that made sense, and it's $6. I'm like, $6 for the whole first season. I'll do it. Um, Here's a movie that was nostalgic to me, but before I do that, I want to check out what Emma Jade's talking about too, because I want to respect everybody. Oh, you know what? Oh, wow, Emma Jade. I do not own the Conan, but I own the Pirates of the Dark Water and SWAT Cats. They had a great theme song. SWAT Cats was one of the best theme songs of all time. 3 classic cartoons I grew up with, very nostalgic. Yep. There is a classic live action series with the same name but different. Really interesting. Very interesting. What is up, Blake Snow? Hello to you, you peep. Man, oh man, there's some love going out to Blake. Man, it's been met a few days, man. So here's something that I've mentioned it before. Had the book, and I saw the movie, and very nostalgic to me. But you're like, does it hold up? And it pretty much holds up. I don't remember watching it. Now the ending wasn't what I remembered at all, but I didn't remember the ending. You know what I'm saying? It's a situation of this. I've had Damnation Alley, this book, since I was a kid in school, and I bought it, and then it was the movie at the same time, and finally got it on Blu-ray, for crying out loud. Now that's another thing. All right, I have something to show you here in just a minute. Now, here's another nostalgic piece for me. I went to the theater to see at the same theater I saw Pee-wee's Big Adventure. What a great movie. I saw this movie, but here it's called Battle Creek Brawl. But when it was released, when I saw it, it was called The Big Brawl. And that's Jackie Chan. There you go. Jackie Chan, Battle Creek Brawl, originally called The Big Brawl. And it's got this whistling thing. Now, here's a tie-in to rock and roll. There's if you watch this movie, Battle Creek Brawl, it's also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's got a third title as well. But Mako is in it, and you'll also recognize the the guy when they go into a little roller derby race. Jackie Chan enters a roller derby race, and the uh, the guy who's calling the race is the bad guy from Dead from oh wow, Dark Man. Remember Dark Man? He was the guy in that. He was the villain. So yeah. So this was a big piece of nostalgia. This is definitely one of those movies. I went and saw the movie, fell in love with it, and I had it. I had to buy it. Now, there's other ones. This one holds up. This is great. You know what other movie holds up that's huge to me? Huge nostalgia is Island at the Top of the World. Check it out. It's on the Disney Channel, and so you don't have to buy it, but watch it. It's cool. I like it. I mean it, and it's also really neat to see how they did landscapes back then with Disney, with the artists who would paint these landscapes, and they would actually put action in front of them. Now they still do that. I mean to today, and I mean they've been doing that for years, but just to see it there, it's beautiful. A lot of people don't like the animation movie of Return of the King, but I loved it. The song "Where," that's right. Where there's a whip, there's a way is something I sing when work is very busy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would be a great one. Yeah, I love Rankin and Bass. And in fact, I was going to talk about that here in a minute. But you're right. Rankin and Bass has done a lot of stuff. Now, some of the stuff that they did. Hey, Salvatore, what's up? You showed up just in time. What's let's see, here we go. Oh yeah, you what else you got here? Blaze, I have all three Darkman movies. Well, there you go. Might watch those, but got too many other things to watch. I hear you, buddy. I hear you, man. Return of the King animated Lord of the Rings is free on Max. Well, cool. So, yeah, it was a weird I think I saw somebody had done a video about that chain of movies, right? Because you had The Hobbit, and then there was The Lord of the Rings. So there was The Hobbit, which was done by Rankin and Bass, who did Rudolph and all that stuff, right? I'm going to be talking about those in a second. Um, did all those shows. And then they put out The Lord of the Rings. Ralph Bakshi puts that out. And he has another great film that's in my music collection right up here at the top called American Pop. So if you've never seen American Pop, check that out. It's a great movie. But Ralph Bakshi did that. And then they did the Return of the King. So it's kind of really kind of Return of the King then was on the other side, which was Rankin and Bass again. So it's kind of wild. And Glenn Yarborough does the music for The Hobbit, and he's the it's very very vibrato, man. It's just like the most vibrato. He's 10 times more vibrato than what's his name? What's the young guy now? Josh Groban. Josh Groban has that thing too, but not like there's not many like Glenn Yarborough. Lawrence Gowan gets a little closer, but what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Um, so yeah, Salvatore, what's a couple of cool nostalgic things to you that maybe you, in my case, or in whoever is my age, in that case where it was like Johnny Quest is on DVD, I can actually own the original Johnny Quest, you know. Now, here's another one that I watched when I was a kid. And it's one of those things where you're like, I remember the opener and they were running and it was a cop show. And, it was just kind of mysterious how they were running from what? I don't know. They were just running. And, but I'm like, I really want to see that. And I found they had the complete series, all 5 seasons, 124 episodes, the complete collection of The Mod Squad. So I have watched quite a bit of this, but I've forgotten how much of it I've watched already. So I got to get back into it and finish it. That's the other thing. It's like, do you finish them? You heard what I said about Buck Rogers. That's been tough enough. Now, here's a movie it's nostalgic to me, and I bought it. Now, I don't know if it held up. I'm going to watch it again because the first time I watched it again, It really didn't hold up to me. All right. But it was an important um, film at the time for me because I was into kung fu. Not me into kung fu, but I was into kung fu the show with David Carradine, and they put this movie out where he plays multiple characters. He's like guiding. He's very much like a Kane character to this gentleman that's in the film, right? And but then he plays other kind of interesting mystic characters, and uh, it's from a story by Bruce Lee, and David Carradine stars in it. This is a 2-disc special edition of Circle of Iron. I remember seeing it on cable back in the day, and so when I saw that it was available, I had to get it. But I did rewatch it, and I don't super remember going, "Wow, that really held up." Um, just the way it is. But it's just kind of interesting. But I need to watch it again. Those kind of things, you almost have to give it another shot because it's tough to watch it once and go, I don't know if that held up. I may watch it again now, it being, I don't know, almost 10 years since I've seen it. Now, here's an interesting one. Um, those of us, Salvatore, you probably would remember, I believe. And if you do, um, that's awesome. But back in the day when I was growing up, and if you've purchased old comic books, let's just put it that way. This is open for everybody to know about because it's out there. If you if you were a comic book buyer and you've bought, let's just say you're younger though, and you didn't buy the comics when I was a kid, right? But let's just say now you're into comics and you're buying some old comics. You're going to notice in there back in the 70s that at certain part, like probably um, in the summer issues of comics, they would run ads for the new cartoons that were coming up. And they would tell you that on such and such a date, it was a Friday night because it was before the Saturday morning cartoons, they would have this special on. It was like a 30-minute special. It's probably 30 minutes to an hour special about all the upcoming new cartoons. So they would have, I remember growing up, I remember seeing the premiere, kind of the preview episode that had Fat Albert on it and Super Friends and Spider-Man and his amazing friends. So they went on for a while. They would have these preview shows on a Friday night beforehand. And it was really, really cool. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll get those. Yep, I'll get those. I'll get them. I'll get them. I'll get them. Puzzle is about $15 to $30 on eBay. Oh man. Nobody will ever know what happened to David Carradine in Thailand. Sad but awful. Oh, I okay. Circle of Iron bookmarked to buy eventually. Yeah, there you go. See? Um, but so I remember when they had Super Friends. So now I already owned some of the Super Friends, but these were cheap. Um, these were $3.99 and $5.99 at Squeeze Box, and I bought them both there. One is season 5, one is season 6. Um, and and they're and it's a single disc, so I don't know what the quality is going to be like, but these Super Friends shows were a little, janky where, you know, Batman's up in space, not even in a ship. I'm like, what's going on? Now, I did have a discussion the other day with a friend. I may have mentioned this, but here it is. I'm going to show it to you. I mentioned when I was a kid growing up, and the HAL was the Green Lantern that I was familiar with, right? And so it was uh it was that situation, and I used to watch these cartoons when I was growing up, and I didn't realize they were from like 1967, and these are early filmation cartoons, and they had all the DC character, a bunch of the DC characters like Hawkman, Green Lantern, Superman, Flash, Adam and Aquaman. So I found this and I didn't think much of it. I was thinking it was more Super Friends, right? It's called DC Superheroes, the Filmation Adventures. All right. So there you go. There are all these characters. Well, then I just thought, what the hell? The other day I put it on. I think Saturday morning, just for, going back as a kid and being a Saturday morning cartoon guy, right? Well, each one has 3 episodes. So they have a Teen Titans on there. They have a Justice League of America, Hawkman, Green Lantern, The Flash, and the Atom. Okay, so there was not a Superman cartoon. He was just part of the Justice League. All right. So Teen Titans, I can't wait to watch that. I need to put on the other one. But this is that Green Lantern cartoon that I used to watch, where he had the ring and it would, he had the lantern and all that stuff. And the Flash had his costume that came out of his ring. And they're hokey cartoons, but they're from 1967. And what a what a fluke that I picked that up and I didn't even realize what it was. So another piece of nostalgia for me is when I bumped into The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. This animated movie was a lot of fun when I saw it on PBS, and then was able to find it on DVD. And we just watched it at school not too long ago. The edit is okay, um, but you know, here's something I almost wish would have been nostalgic to me. Now, hopefully, it'll be nostalgic to my grandson. And I just bought it used, so it's not in wonderful, beautiful shape, but it is Yellow Submarine by the Beatles. Watching it, I'm kind of like, man, I really wish I would have gotten into this as a kid. I just didn't know about it. As far as Disney is concerned, this is ultimately my favorite nostalgic Disney movie. Saw it at the theater, bought the record, the storybook record, and all that stuff. It is Robin Hood. It is the 50th anniversary movie, so it was 1973 when this came out, and it was funny because I have a friend of mine who, when when she laughs, I love it because sometimes she ends with that thing that they do in there. Cartoon wise, I do own a bunch. Um, and do I watch them all the time? This is where the question goes, where does it end? And you're like, what is too much? Am I going to watch them? I have to think about that a lot because, like Thundar, I would like to get Thundar, but then I'm like, have you watched it lately? See how it holds up, you know? Masters of the Universe, Emma says, is the greatest cartoon. The hero is amazing when the theme song is just his name. Good call. Good call. Very true, Emma. It says Lance. Classic filmation. Totally classic filmation. Now, I wish I had it over here because I'll guarantee you I got the one. But you know what? Let me do this real quick because I need to get these pictures in that Lance was telling me about. So let's see what we got here. Um, I'll get them. I will get them. Here we go. Oh, that's cool. All right, so save. And no, 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 no. Let me see here. Hold on. What am I doing? What am I doing? Let's just look at it. And oh, that is cool, dude. You know what I like doing with these two? Ah, sugar monkeys. You know what I like doing with these two is looking at them like I did earlier. I had a Marvel bag with me today, and a friend of mine made a comment about it, and I was like, yeah, it's got multiple artists on it. All right, so let's do this. Let's see. I think this might be one of those. We'll take a look. Sometimes they compile back in the day, and even today, because that's this bag that I have. They've compiled Captain America, the Hulk, and Iron Man, and it's 3 different artists. Now, the Hulk, I don't know who drew the Hulk. The Hulk was done by Herb Trimp back in the day when I was growing up. It might have been John Buscema. That's possibly who it was. Um, But let me see here. Okay, so hold on a second. Let me send these to myself. That one. And oh crap. No, we can't do it that way. We gotta, I have to edit this one. Sorry. Hold on. I'll get, oh dear Lord. Okay, so, okay, never mind. That, and then this is really driving me bananas. There it is. There's the edit. Good Lord. Um, but they compile different ones. Like the bag that I had today that my friend commented on had Iron Man done by John Romita Jr. when he was doing Iron Man. I can't remember the name of the guy that he fought, but he did it in the 90s. John Romita Jr. was doing some of that stuff. And all right, now we can send it to myself. There and there. And we're going to do it by mail. And we'll do it there. And we'll do puzzle. All right. It's amazing the crap you got to go through to get these things right, right? All right. So now I can go here. Let's just do this, and hopefully this will come up quickly. And there it is. Okay. Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. See, I think this is done by the same artist. Yeah. This one artist did all this. I think I remember this. And you bought this? You found this and bought it? It's from. It looks like it's from the late 80s. It's maybe mid 80s. But I don't know who did them. That's the other thing too. Let's download that one, and let's close that, and then let's download this other one. 300 pieces, extra large pieces. Wow, how big is this thing, dude? Does it have a size on there? Yeah, because you guys will get to knowing you. Those of you who are enthusiasts on comic books here, let me get this in here. You will know what I'm talking about. Because some of these characters were later. Oh, it's 83. Really? Wow. That's very interesting because, wow. Let's go in here. Let's enter these in if I can find them here. This should be in my downloads. In my downloads. Okay, there. No. There. No. 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 Yeah, there. There and there. Okay, good. There. No. There. And there. Okay. So let's do that. Open them up, baby. Here they come. So, wow, it's kind of interesting to think about how long I was collecting comics and how some of these characters came in. Well, that's kind of weird. It looks like the same picture. I didn't want that. Let's see what we got here. I thought I had a close-up shot, but I guess I don't. That's kind of weird. So weird. Why's it got to be so weird? All right, never mind. I'll still show this. Cancel. Here we go. So there you go. There it is. Marvel Superheroes Fantasy Jigsaw Puzzle. So I'm sorry I couldn't get this a little larger. I thought I had cropped one down that was larger. But some of these guys, I'm not sure who they are, especially when it's that much smaller. I mean, I know most everybody, like Starhawk and Silver Surfer and Dazzler, um, Iceman. There you go. But then up in the top corner to the left, you see on the very corner is the Green Goblin. And below that, you've got Black Bolt. But then this is what was throwing me. This is why I was like, wow, they were that old. Right between Black Bolt and the Human Torch is Alpha Flight. So you got like North Star and Sasquatch and Puck and Um, oh man, I can't remember everybody's names. Um, it's not Snowbird, is it? Snowbird. What the hell was her name? But then oh, I can't remember the name of the guy that was the leader. But anyway, they went up against. I had that comic, and also Wolverine went up against those guys because they wanted him back. Anyway, it's got all these people in here. There's Galactus, and I don't see the Punisher. Is the Punisher in there somewhere? It's got to be in there somewhere. There's Luke Cage and Iron Fist are together down there in the left-hand corner. There's Kazar down there in the bottom. Scarlet Witch is right in the front with Vision right by Captain America, and Moon Knight behind that. We got Spider Woman and Spider Man right there together. There's Man Thing right in the middle, and Falcon, She Hulk, Ant Man, Hercules, Beast. Um, that's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Oh, there's the leader. Um, oh, and that's Shang-Chi right there next to Iron Fist. That's pretty cool. There's Valkyrie is right next to Electro and the Rhino. Oh man, that's great. The Thing and the Inhumans and Doc Samson. That's pretty cool. Submariner's up there with Doctor Doom. Um, and you got the X-Men down in the right-hand corner there. That's pretty neat. Magneto, the Watcher, Mephisto. Man, that's really cool. I'm geeking out. See, that's how it works. You geek out. Now, here's some of the other things that I've gotten. This is what I've been talking about here too, where um, I couldn't believe I got it. It was Scooby Doo seasons 1 and 2. So that one, Hong Kong Fooey. There you go. Had to get that. Here's one that I bought the book recently, but this came out. I want to say this is almost like a Rankin and Bass piece. I don't think that is Rankin and Bass, but it was put out by Warner Brothers, and I don't know. I'll look very closely later at it, but it's called Flight of Dragons. John Ritter, those two characters right there. John Ritter is the guy in the brown shirt, and the wizard is played by Harry Morgan from MASH, uh, and Colonel Potter. So yeah, more of the Hanna-Barbera stuff that I love. Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossibles. There's the Coil Man. There's Coil Man. I had that costume from the Five and Dime, and in my hometown there. Now here's what I'm talking about. How far does it go? Here's Herculoids. I bought this Herculoids 2-disc set on DVD. Well, I saw it came out on Blu-ray, so I upgraded to Blu-ray, which is not the first time I've done that. I did that with Johnny Quest, and I also did it with this. This is one that freaked me out when it came out. Now it came out on VHS, and you could do it as a series, right? It's one of those that you buy them tape to tape, right? Well, it started here for me, and I found out years later, and I talked to you about. I think I talked to you about this on a Halloween show at one point. Was there you go, the Night Stalker, Kolchak the Night Stalker. This is kind of sought after now, I guess. This is the Night Stalker and the Night Strangler, the TV movies of that. Um, but then they bought it. They brought it out on DVD, so I bought it on DVD, right? Well, then I found out they did it on Blu-ray, so of course I invested. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't too bad. But it wasn't cheap, and I bought it on Blu-ray, which is a great package there. I thought that was cool. Um, but then I found out years later that it had been started by the Norliss tapes, and I was happy to have this on tape too. It's hokey, it's interesting, but it's got Angie Dickinson in it, and it still creeps me out. It's fun. It's just a fun little creepy thing, right? Um, and then, like I said, there's all the speaking of nostalgia, there's when it comes to Christmas, it's Rankin and Bass like nobody's business. I mean, Santa Claus is coming to town. Year without a Santa Claus. And remember, folks, Year Without a Santa Claus, that's the one that has the snow miser and the heat miser in it. If you love them, don't ever watch that don't ever watch the Miser Brothers Christmas. Oh my God. If you liked it, okay, that's cool. That's all right. Not a problem. Not anything bad, but woof. Me at the front, just stick to it, Stark. Howard the Duck by Captain America's Foot. Thank you. That's who that was. Thank you. The leader of Alpha Flight was originally called Vindicator and then changed to Guardian. That's right. Thank you, Lance. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, pre-Scrappy or Crappy Doo, shall we say, or Crappy Poo of Scooby-Doo are the best. Yes. The other best is with Dynamite, green and the green. Why did I say green? Blue Falcon and Dynamite. Here is the life and adventures of Santa Claus and Nestor, the long-eared Christmas donkey. Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. Another Rankin and Bass stop action. And the original, which came out when I was an original in '64. There you go. And then let's see. Here's one, Jack Frost. A little weird, a little hokey. And then there's, it has Buddy Hackett as the groundhog on there. And then this one seemed like it had something else on it. Yeah, I don't see it though. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas was one of their animated ones, like Frosty. There's Frosty's Winter Wonderland. And this one has 'Twas the Night Before Christmas on it. And then the original Frosty the Snowman. There you go. So lots of nostalgia. Now, let's get to it. We got a big unboxing. There's something that I picked up years ago, little piece of nostalgia from the record store. They had this, and I said, do you have any extra stuff sitting around? And this is what they had. I loved it. I saw that tour and was supposed to go backstage and interview Jeff Tate, and I did not get a chance to do that. I was stymied by the guys at the backstage door. Well, that's for after the show. Well, then I got there after the show, and they're like, no, those aren't any good anymore. I'm like, you have got to be flipping kidding me. You want to talk about one of those days where you just want to punch somebody? Ugh. Yeah, The Little Drummer Boy, book 1 and book 2, right, Lance? Right? They had book 1 and book 2. What's MS? Have you seen Millennium, 96 to 98, series starring Lance Henriksen? Liked it better than the X-Files, but I do own both series on DVD. No, I never did watch that. I mean, and I have to admit, I wasn't a big watcher of X-Files either, but he was the inspiration for that was Night Stalker. All right, well, here we go. We're adding to the Iron Maiden, okay, because it's nostalgia, okay? And I mean, I don't want to do a million of these, but they're so fun. Now, two of my favorite podcasters hate these things. They think they suck. But I get it. It's not for everybody. But they had the brand new one. They've got a whole new series of these that came out, and there is one other one that I do need to get, and it's on the back of this box. But here we go. The Senjutsu Eddie from Iron Maiden. You gotta love it. Look at that. Yeah. Iron Maiden. Yeah, it's a dangerous place for me, Iron Maiden. I'll tell you what. All right, so what's in this box? What do we got? Oh, look at this, guys. Okay, so this was a pretty cool buy. I waited for the right time to buy it, and I found a pretty good price on it, so I picked it up. Whenever I buy books, I like to get the hardcover. I don't know how you guys are. If you buy books very much, when you do, does it matter whether you have an e-copy of it just to read on your reader or your computer, or if you like a hardcover or a soft cover. I go for the hardcover books if I can. And wow, this is in great shape, people. Holy crap, I had not expected it to be in this good a shape. Wow. Here we go. The definitive oral history of metal. Louder than hell. There you go. Wow, that's in great shape. Wow, that looks better than some of them you find right off the bat. It's got photos in here, uh, all kinds of different bands. Wow. And then it has, all right, so here's a Eddie Van Halen. Uh, in the LA club days in the early 70s, we did some insane shows. Once we were on stage playing at Walter Mitty's Bar and Grill, and all of a sudden, two guys are fighting about whose bike is faster. It got rough, and one of them pulls out a knife, and a minute later, the other guy is lying there with his intestines hanging out. It doesn't take too much to figure out which one had the knife. The guy with the Harley, obviously. That was pretty shocking. There was blood gushing everywhere, and the guy actually died. Wow. Stephen Piercy of Rat. I moved to San Diego in 1971. Around 75, we were playing a place called Straight Ahead Sound. Everybody went there. So you automatically played in front of 600 to 1,000 people. You would have Jakey Lee's band Teaser, my band, Mickey Rat, which evolved into Rat, and Robin Crosby's band Metropolis. We'd all be competing. Wow, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. Hmm. So there you go. Louder than hell. That's great. All right, well, let's get moving on here. That is in such great shape. I'm very, very excited about that. As well, I should be, right? All right, so here is a cool. This is going to be tough to show, but it's kind of a black light. I love these banners. So this one's kind of a black light one. And I thought it might work well at some of my gigs, maybe, or just hung up behind me here. I love these tapestries. I don't know if you guys buy them at all, but they're pretty cool. I like getting them because I want to get them and see about putting them together and making blankets. Look at that. Rock is my life. Would you say that's true? Anybody who knows me, would you say that's true? Rock is my life. My wife says it's my first love. So, but there you go. That's what it looks like. Rock is my life. And this is my song, Bachman Turner Overdrive. Or as I would say now, Bachman Turner Overdrive. Anyway, so that's cool. Yes. All right. What else do we have here? I'm telling you, this is an epic unboxing. I'm afraid I'm going to knock something over. That's what I'm trying to be careful of. There. Bye-bye. Oh, okay. So this was kind of interesting. Today, not today, 2 days ago, I was taking one of my students around. We were going for a walk like we do. They have to earn it. And they were vetting some of the books in the library. Well, some of the things they were vetting were comic books, right? Not like I collect them and not like it's a big thing for me, but it used to be, but not anymore. And guess who the character is at the end of the Spider-Man? Michael, right? No, not. It's Miles Morales. Guess who the character is that's coming in? It's the Vulture. And I had just gotten this, ordered it. It was really cheap. It was like $4.99 or something. So I went ahead and picked it up. It's part of the Sinister Six grouping. So yeah, so that's kind of wild. I guess it has a little scene with it and everything. So that's a big ass box. Look at that. Comparatively speaking to the Senjutsu, Senjutsu. Yeah, I'd get that right one of these days. Look at that. Wow. Pretty cool. So anyway, that's that. Now, remember the other day I told you about this? Are you ready? Da, da, da. This is it. This is it. This is the box. Are you ready for this? Now, I bought an extra of one because it was cheap. So this was all on sale on the actual Funko site. On this date in 58, the Champs released the single Tequila. Meow, 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 meow. Thank you, Senjutsu. See? It's a Bing Funko box. A Bing Funko box. Yes, it is a big one. All right, are you ready? Let's see what we got here. I gotta be careful with all this plastic. My cat will. Boy, they packaged it right. There you go. This was on sale. The Wolverine and Sabretooth box set. Look at that. Pretty cool. Yeah. Boy, what's the best way to hold that? I don't know. There you go. Wow, wow, wow. Is an underrated character, Lance says. Interesting. Michael Keaton did a great job. He did. I think they did a great job of that. Which does that surprise you, Lance? That I thought that was a good job. There's a lot of times I think guys, people think I'm gonna love something and I just don't. Okay, so let's see what the best way. I'm telling you, I got a mess. I got a mess right here. All right, this is an interesting box. Look at that. It's all put together. All right, let's see what we've got in here. I love it. I love how it is. Oh, I forgot about this one. Oh, the Bruce Lee. Look at that. Ooh, that's beautiful. Hot diggity. I don't know how many of these are still on sale. They had a huge sale. And I just was picking them up and picking them up. I just filled that damn cart and ordered them. I don't want to look at this. You know, it says what it is on the outside, but I don't want to look. Oh yeah. Okay. So which one is this? Yeah, it's the Civil. I couldn't bring myself to buy the Falcon as Captain America. I just couldn't do it. I just think that's ridiculous. I just think it's ridiculous. So there you go. An Amazon exclusive, straight from Funko. Here's what it looks like. I'll show you the picture. That would be better because you really can't see in the box. There you go. So, like I say, a lot of these were on really good prices because I'm cheap and I'm not going to buy them if it's too expensive. Now, here's a big one. This one I had to get. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this, Blake? Look at this. It's Thor. It's this comic book collectible where it's got a comic book cover behind it. There you go. How about that? This Hostage Earth. That is outstanding. So this is probably my 5th Thor. So he's smashing the hammer down. There's a picture of it. So there you go. On sale. Can you believe it? I'm like, wow. Now here's the other one that I got a while back. Ah, there you go. I got this one, which is got that, the line painted on it where it's, looks like it's a comic book. I thought that was really cool. And he's spinning the hammer. Thought that was awesome. So eventually these will have a great, great home. And we'll have it organized. Now, there's another box inside here. Holy cow. This is epic. This is going to put the Lance, this is going to put the unboxings on Go Game Go to shame, I think, for me. Well, maybe not. I had that one, right, where I just was looking in the box and had all kinds of stuff. Oh, man. Okay, so I need to cut that more before I destroy something here. That is not my goal. part of it is keeping the boxes intact, right? Oh man, look at this. Look at this. Okay, so where do we start? All right, here, let's start here. They had a really good price on this Weapon X, this Wolverine Weapon X, and so I had to get one of those. That was really, really good price. Then this is the one I bought another one because it comes. Uh-oh, it looks broken. It's broken. I'll have to see if we can fix it. I don't know. Look at the body. It's like, it's beheaded. Oh, dear God. The children will be scared. He's beheaded. The ghost of Christmas present is beheaded. Ah! Oh, dear Lord. I hope I haven't disturbed anybody out there with my headless Funko. Oh, my God. This one was cool. This one is like off of the Deadpool movie. There you go. Wolverine from the Deadpool movie. Pretty cool. On sale. Can you believe it? Oh, I got another one of these to collect as a collector. I got one of these. Eddie Van Halen. This is from the early days. There's the one that I have right up here that's from the 1984 album. This one was really cool. I don't normally get these that are spin-off ones too much, but this one would fit. This one fit me to a T. The heavy metal Deadpool. I just thought that one was really cool, so I had to do it because it was a great crossover for me. And of course, the special of the special, Santa as a Packer. Look at that. Yeah, man. There he is. Packer Santa. Gotta love it. Even though they let us down the other day, they certainly didn't do their job. So think about those things. We can talk nostalgia some more later. We can get into some specialty things that we can talk about. And let's see what everybody was saying. Another legendary unboxing. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. There was a lot of stuff to get through there. Most MCU movies from Avengers Endgame and earlier were well done. Yes, for the most part. Ant-Man I thought was I can't say the same for their latest. No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I love that one. That Thor one with the comic is so cool. Falcon is not Captain America, just like Jane shouldn't be called Mighty Thor. Abso-frickin-lutely. The trailer for Thunderbolts looks promising. Yeah, maybe. I'm not familiar with all of those characters. Yep, same thing. Spoiler, there is a character called Bob in the Thunderbolts that is played by the same actor that played Bob in Top Gun Maverick. Interesting. I don't know what to make of the Thunderbolts. Hope it be better recent Marvel movies. Yeah, we can only hope that they get it straight. Now, here's the thing I mentioned about Hollyweird earlier today is they're like a casino, right? Where a lot of people are going to lose all day, but then they're going to give you some winners. Some people are going to win somehow, right? Just enough so that you come back, right? And that's the way Hollyweird is too. You can do crap movies and then all of a sudden you put out some good stuff. And that makes us think everything's going to be okay. Well, until they can put out a whole string of stuff and get it reloaded and restarted, that ain't going to happen for me. Falcon's a wannabe Captain America anyway. Yeah, I mean, it should have just gone to Bucky. Winter Soldier should be the new Captain America. That's just all there is to it. First of all, to strip the Falcon of the Falcon and just go, well, now you can be me. I mean, if you want to talk about, well, and I don't want to talk about it, but if certain people want to focus in on a race situation where you're just like, what? And you're like, well, then it's erasing what this awesome character was. I read that character. So people can't be calling me out on whatever. I'm like, before you start calling me whatever I'm not, I would really like you to understand that I read and fell in love with this character years ago. I had the comic books of Captain America and the Falcon, and I thought the Falcon was cool because he was one of these guys like Batman, where he doesn't have any superpowers. He's just a guy who has a cool flying suit and has this awesome Falcon that he communicates with. So he doesn't have a superpower. He's just a kick-ass dude like um well, who else is like that? I mean, I would think some other folks, but it's Daredevil's like that. But Daredevil had a radioactive thing that happened where he's got this sense, just like Spider-Man and stuff like that. Bucky would have been all right. I wouldn't have gave a crap. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, if you have to go a certain direction, just like Black Panther, when the gentleman passed away, um, and you're like, why didn't you just replace him with somebody else? There's other actors out there that can do that part. Loved Boseman, thought he was great. I was so sorry that he passed, and at the same time, I'm like, look, we've replaced a lot of people over the years that he didn't even die. They just got fired or whatever, or decided not to do it. Look how many Spider-Mans we've had. And do we care about that? No. Just make a Spider-Man flick and let the guy be cool. There you go. And we've had a diverse set of people who played Spider-Man, right? So just instead of coming up with a crap story, you know, I love Hulk and I don't care. If he doesn't look like me, unless I'm angry, then maybe I look closer to Lobo or Doomsday. I doubt that, Emma Jade. I doubt that. The Falcon is a cool character. Loved him on that story record with Cap and the Rise of the Phoenix. Yeah, right? Thank you. Own it. Still got it. And I want to revoice it too. I want to re-record that. I'm going to do that and many others too. So yeah. I'd take on Spider-Man any day of the week now for a Civil War. Well, I know who else I'm thinking of. Who doesn't have Shang-Chi doesn't have powers. Black Panther doesn't have any superpowers. These are just guys who are kick-ass warriors, right? And they get thrown in. Now, the same thing with Shang-Chi is happening right now. I just saw a commercial for something where they're like, I didn't even know there was a Red Hulk. And I'm like, see, you're bringing up characters people don't even, first of all, they don't know, and others don't give a shit. They don't care. Red Hulk, never heard of him. Right. So why are we even talking about him? When they just, again, I'll say it, Shang-Chi is one of my favorite all-time characters, but when they said they were making a movie, I'm like, why? Nobody knows. Nobody cares. And I don't want one of my favorite characters to be somebody that nobody cares. Don Cheadle replaced Terrence. See, there you go, as War Machine. Brody, that's right. Thank you, Lance. And the character didn't miss a beat. Nope. And lasted multiple movies, right? What the hell's Shang-Chi? Sounds like a Chinese restaurant. Oh, that's cute. No, a great bunch of comics. We'll go through some of those. We'll go through some, and it'll kind of teach everybody at Blake Facts. And it'll help teach people that what they're watching is not what it is at all. I guess that's what I need to do. I need to lead the charge on that's not who these characters are. Shang-Chi, sure. Again, don't call it Shang-Chi, just call it something else. Entertaining movie, sure. Entertaining, that's fine. Cute movie, but that's not Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi isn't a cute movie. Shang-Chi is a super espionage spy, thing that is much more it's treacherous because it's men against men. It's like, and women, and it's all this, it's people against people. It's not, oh, there's dragons and rings that float. No, It's not about floating bracelets. It's not about um, dragons. There's no, that's not a thing. So, uh, yeah. So, we'll go through that a little bit. I think Marvel is looking for another surprise hit to make a franchise like Guardians of the Galaxy. They were decent comics, but not top tier. And that's not even what it was. If you, in the middle of that puzzle, let's see if we can take another look before I get going here. If we take a look again, you're going to see Starhawk right in the middle, right by Fire. What was his name? Is it Firebrand? Fire Lord? By Galactus. You'll see the guy in front of him, and then below Galactus, you'll see Man Thing. Well, the guy in the blue, that's Starhawk. And yeah, that's the Guardians of the Galaxy right there. Because the guy with the red hood is right there. And the crystal guy, I think, is right below that. And then I think the guy, is that Captain Nebula? Is that what his name is? Is next to Captain America? You know who I wish was in this? I think Daredevil's up there. I think I finally see him too. You know who I wish was in this puzzle? Oh, there's Tigra. Tigra is up there next to Wonder Man, who's up there by Firebrand. See, now I just said his name. Boom, Firebrand. Yeah. Just trying to see who's up there. I guess that's Adam Warlock up there. And there's Thor finally. Oh, look, there's Havoc. So if you go in the front row, you see Captain America in the middle. They go over to Captain Nebula. I think that's his name. And then you got She-Hulk. You got Yellow Jacket, which was after Ant-Man. So that's why you've got Ant-Man right up there. But then Henry Pym became Yellow Jacket later. Then you got Hercules. Now, if you go from Hercules, and then I'm not sure who that is right behind Hercules. Maybe that's not the Enchantress. She's in green. But go up next to Iron Man there. And right between that lady in pink and Iron Man, that's Havoc. And that is Cyclops' brother. I didn't even see Cyclops in here, though. Is he on there? I didn't even see Wolverine anywhere. That's strange, too. Very weird. You see Beast, because Beast at this time, Beast was a part of the Avengers. Oh yeah, and so oh wow, yeah. So Guardians of the Galaxy was not any of those characters that were in the movie. They're in some of those characters that show up, that are in the movie, like the crystalline guy that's standing next to Stallone. He's in the original Guardians. I'll admit, seeing former WWE wrestler Batista as Drax scared me. Oh, yeah, he did a great job. I thought he did a great job. Although to me, that's not Drax. I don't. Drax looks totally different in the comic books. Captain Universe is by Captain Universe. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I'll take that. That's me. Like, oops. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Yep. And then what's the guy's name that's I don't know. Is that Red Skull that's underneath the Falcon by She-Hulk? And then what's the guy's name? That's one of the guy next to the Falcon off his wing. That's one of the Guardians of the Galaxy. So anyway, there you go. Geeking out enough. That's enough. So yeah. So hopefully they can start getting it right. Stuart, a reminder, you got 5 minutes for Go Game Go. Is that what it is? Yeah, that's true. Thanks, man. Wow, I was reading the clock wrong. I appreciate it. All right, guys. So yeah, let's get more into the nostalgia stuff. If you've got some, tell me about it, and let's chat. Yes. Captain is holding up a red skull. Yes. Okay. All right. All right. Thanks for sending that out there, Lance. That was great, man. It's great to talk about that stuff. Thank you, everybody. This was fantastic. This is what I'm talking about, and it led me to almost be late for my other show. So I'll get back into here. And y'all have a great evening. I'll be back on YouTube in about 4 minutes now on Go Game Go. So check us out there, and we'll have a lot of fun. All right, guys. Thank you again for being here with me today. This has been fantastic. I hope you enjoyed the huge unboxing. So we'll talk to you soon. Just remember, when you step out of your door every day, you're in everybody else's world. They're not in yours. So just bear that in mind, man. But have a great evening. Take care, folks.
Can you dig it?